Hi, everyone. This past Sunday in my message, we looked at how to make use of our suffering. Lessons from the poster boy of pain himself, Job. One aspect we could only touch on was that Job's pain was apparently triggered by something of a backroom conversation that God had with Satan. You say, wait a minute, you don't expect me today to believe in something as primitive as the devil, do you? In your mind, what might you imagine as something of a fictitious, even cartoonish character? C.S. Lewis said that there were two equal and opposite errors that we should avoid. On the one hand, disbelieving and dismissing him had its dangers. On the other hand, having an unhealthy obsessive interest in the devil was also dangerous, that the devil and his dark crowd of demons hailed both the magician and the materialist with the same delight. So how do we grow in having a healthy understanding of these things? Well, one way that's simultaneously entertaining and spiritually edifying is to read, or if you've already done so, reread C.S. Lewis's book, The Screwtape Letters. It was one of the first books that I read as a Christian, and I've enjoyed and benefited over the years going back to it. It was written during World War II as a series of satirical fictional letters from a senior devil, Screwtape, to his young nephew, Wormwood, whom he was mentoring in the fine art of temptation. And his patient, Wormwood's patient, was a young man who lived in London and had the potential of being called into military service. Listen to this gem of advice from Screwtape to Wormwood. There is nothing like suspense and anxiety for barricading a human's mind against the enemy being God in this twisted tale. He wants them to be concerned with what they do. Our business is to keep them thinking about what will happen to them. The uncertainties of the COVID-19 season that we find ourselves in terms of our physical well-being, financial, vocational, social and psychological, these are all fertile territories for the evil one to barricade our mind so that it keeps us from God. Yes, in believing in him, perhaps, but practically speaking, for those of us who consider ourselves followers of Christ, it's probably more in the practical areas of depending on him, of leaning into him in joy and love. So what do we do? How do we make progress in this? Well, a couple of things to keep in mind. First, while the devil and his corrupt crowd of demons, who, by the way, they're all angels, fallen, dark angels, while they are powerful, they are finite. We need to be careful to avoid lapsing into kind of a dualistic concept that there's a good God and a dark God and they're sort of fighting it out. No, there is one infinite God over all, and he is sovereign and in control. And the devil and his dark demon crowd of angels are finite. They are also not utterly powerful, though they have power. Calvin liked to say that they drag chains wherever they go. And Paul, the apostle, said that Christ had disarmed them by triumphing over them by the cross. And so our ultimate hope and confidence, of course, is in what Jesus has already done for us. So we should take the devil and his subversive strategies very seriously, while at the same time drawing upon the resources that are ours in Jesus, leaning into them by faith, that we might not allow the anxieties of our day to barricade us from God, but to move forward in faith, delighting in and loving the one who gave himself for us on the cross. Hey, thanks so much for joining today. Join me this Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Time for Instagram Live. I'm going to be talking about finding God or fleeing from God amidst affliction. Again, a bit of a follow-up from this past Sunday's discussion from Job. So join us 1 p.m. Central Time, Instagram Live. Thanks again for joining.